la historia de un gran hombre, un héroe muy famoso en las tierras del norte de nuestra nación. Él derramó su sangre, luchando por su gente, quienes fueron despojados de sus recursos y propiedades. El 1 de septiembre 1872 muere este gran hombre. Su nombre es Marcos Canú, el hombre de quien les hablo en esta merecida canción. Marcos Canú era valiente, se enfrentó al imperio más poderoso del mundo, y así siempre recordemos los que con él también lucharon. Marcos Canú era valiente, dio su vida por su gente. Por eso en su memoria ponemos este ramo de flores. ¡Que viva Marcos Canú!
¡Que viva!
And welcome back. And of course, that was an introduction to our second conversation that we'll be having. And that is with representatives of the Northern Maya Association of Belize. And they're preparing to celebrate Maya National Heroes Day. Good morning. We have on set Wilfredo Novello, who is one of the members of the association, and Adela Pedersen and Adan Palomo, who were both performing just now. Good morning and welcome.
Malopkin.
Aha. So this is such a great opportunity to find out about the work that this association has been doing, and how long it's been in formation. Let's start there.
It's been in formation since last April. The Northern Maya Association was formed because we found it necessary to unite the different pockets of Maya groups that were existing in the north of Belize.
Yeah.
So that's why it was formed.
And where did the idea come from?
I guess it was unanimous. There was everybody within their different groups saw a need, and it just kind of came together.
Yeah. When we talk of, especially the Mayan population in Belize, there's a natural inclination that we think of the Quechua or Mopan in the south.
Yeah.
When we talk about the north, it's more the Yucatec Maya, and I think the general perception for Belizeans is we simply say mestizo. What has it been like trying to get people on board to go back and celebrate your traditional roots?
You know, at this time, people are more anxious, eager to associate with being Maya. And we have a Facebook page, actually two. We have Tone Masewalon and Northern Maya Association. And we have a lot of people say, yay, I am Maya. I remember my abuelita doing this, my abuelita doing that. So people are embracing their Maya culture now.
Yeah.
But what we're doing is we're up against a lot of preconditioning where people don't want to embrace their identity, their heritage.
Yeah.
And so that's what this group is all about. We are about educating everybody in Belize as to what the Maya culture really is.
Yeah, yeah. Can you tell us some of the things, practices, words, whatever it is, of the Northern Mayas that still exist today, that maybe we have just included as a part of the mestizo culture?
Well, the most famous one I hear about, everybody knows what a tuch is.
And that's a Mayan word.
Yes.
You know what a tuch is?
It's your navel. Yeah, gave it away. Or you ever got asked for a kuch?
No.
Okay, that's being carried on the back, and the children,
Oh.
they get carried by their parents.
Yeah.
So dame un kuch. Just give me a ride on your back.
So you still have the
Yes,
words,
yes.
yeah.
The thing is that there are so many words that are being used that people don't realize that it's Maya that
Yeah.
they're speaking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also culinarily, I guess, as well in terms of cooking, there must be something there as well.
There's a lot of things that are strictly Mayan that people don't really associate with. At noontime, you want your tortillas, the maíz. Yeah, that is strictly Mayan. Maya is the graciousness from the corn is the graciousness from God. So
Yeah.
the tortilla, there are so many wonderful dishes that are just strictly Mayan. You want a tamales?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
the Yucatec Maya,
Yeah.
yes. And then you get into the more exotic type of foods.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are so many things that we teach people about, the culture, the dressing, be proud
We
to
love
wear-
your dress.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Thank you. Be proud to wear your yupils, I'm from Corozal. I don't see many people walking down the street and just enjoy sporting their yupils, and they're so beautiful. When you look at it, it just brightens up your day to
Yes.
look at a yupil, and so those things, the music, we teach the children how to sing in Maya, and actually the language. We're big about preserving the language.
Yeah.
Basic greeting like Bishabel,
Bishabel.
Yeah, how are you? Or how is your way today? So Malob Kin and Malob Akab. So all those things we are revitalizing for people to become familiar with it and enjoy speaking some Maya.
Yeah. Tell us about your own involvement, Wilfredo and Adan.
Well, I am my grandfather is a Maya priest, I would say, the men, since it is very important that in every community we have someone that will use the herbs
A healer.
for healing. And also for different occasions, for example, in the milpa, different ceremonies to plant cane. So the men was very important. I just want to make a little history on this, that most of our great-grandparents came from Mexico on the Cass War, 1847, something like that.
Yeah.
But before this was Maya land, was inhabited,
Yeah.
but the Mayas were not foolish. No, they had to run from the Spaniards or even the English, or less they would have been in slavery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the Cass War, 1847, during that time, they came to find refuge in this holy land, I would say.
Yeah.
And so from there, all these villages from Chanchen, even there are no villages that they don't appear in the map, but they really exist. So they came the Rio Hondo River, even way to Sokots. So that's why we have the Yucatec Maya
Ah.
in that area.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm part of that descendant
Yeah.
from my grandparent, and so I think most of us, we're proud of what our great grandparents were.
Yeah. And Wilfredo?
Well, this is a coincidence because last year in June, I got a text message inviting me to a meeting at the House of Culture in Orange Walk. But I forgot the date. So I went to the meeting on the day that the Northern Maya Association were having their meeting.
Ah.
And I walked into the meeting, And it was warmly received by Miss Adela.
Uh-huh.
You know, first I thought she was Mexican. You know, because I know that they were having Maya language courses
Yeah.
in Orange Town. So I thought that maybe she was one of the teachers, right? Anyway, so I sat in, but then I'm not seeing my correligionaries, the guys with whom I always associate with. But they started to talk about the Maya, and I like the agenda. And to tell you the truth, I am happy that I did read the text, but because now I'm part of the association,
Yeah.
and I feel so good about it. You know, every time that we have a meeting, we have one in Corozal, the other one in Orange Rock, and we alternate. And other time we go to a village, like we go to August Pine Ridge, or we go to Cristo Rey, Caledonia, and so on, you know. And what is good with this organization is that we have the meeting, and then we also have the nice Maya food. You know, I like the chocolate sakan, you know, the
sweet?
the porridge.
Oh, the porridge,
The
yeah.
porridge, that's very nice, you know.
Yeah.
You're going to kill me with that. And so we have all this, you know, the esprit de corps, as they say. I'm always looking forward to the next meeting because I know that the people are honest, sincere, you know, and I can feel the vibes that we're doing something very good for the country.
Yeah. What's been the interest level since you started last April?
Well, initially it was like, what are they doing? And now it is, wow, they're really doing some good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we find more people are interested, not quite committed, but interested, and we're happy with that. So that brings me to a point where I want to tell our public out there, you know, if you're of Maya heritage and you really appreciate this culture, join us, be a part of us.
It's interesting, the Northern Mayans, because we don't have, as far as I'm aware, a mestizo cultural group. And essentially, if you're celebrating Northern Mayas, you are also a part of the mestizo culture. How do you help people to see themselves as both?
Okay.
Or how did you individually come to that role?
Yes, for myself, I am originally Belizean,
Yeah.
purebred Belizean, and I spent a lot of years abroad, 36 years. So I have my family in the U.S., you know, but if you speak to them, they associate with being Belizean and then also of Maya heritage,
Yeah.
because I kept my culture alive there, you know. So my children, they know all about the tamales and the panades and all this, and they love all that food.
Yeah.
They love the music. So it's about training and ingraining in your families what your heritage is about, what your culture is about.
Yeah.
And about the mestizo Maya, right now currently in the north, people are very comfortable saying, I am Maya mestizo. Well, yeah, that's okay, but it's kind of a washed down kind of a statement, you know, it being saying that I'm not quite 100% Spaniard, you know. So I always say to people, identify with who you really are. Find out who your grandmother was. Who
Yeah.
was your grandfather? How was it in your memory? And then you choose that powerfully. You
Yeah.
know, choose to be Mayan if you think that Maya is your culture. Whatever culture that you grew up with,
Yeah.
you resonates with you. So you get to choose that. Yeah.
As-
Go ahead.
As you're rebuilding and getting people attracted to look back into themselves, and you look for strength, and you give them incentives to. This year, you guys are celebrating Marcus Canul,
Yes.
a very powerful figure. Could you tell us about what an icon like Marcus Canul does to the community?
Yes, what it does, it reawakens that drive in people, that fire
Yeah.
that has been dormant, and dormant because of many different reasons, colonialism, Spaniards and English, and many other factors. But it awakens to the people that, hey, we have a Maya hero. People try to tell us different, right? But to us, he is a Maya hero. And to answer your question, this year we are celebrating Maya Heroes Day recognition, which was spearheaded last year with the celebration of Marcus Canul.
Yeah.
So this year
Yeah.
we continue that trend, and we are looking to celebrate our Maya heroes who have passed on, and that are presently alive with us. And we really love that, because when we did our research, we found that there are so many people that were influential in the past that may have gone unrecognized.
Yeah.
And so we are giving a recognition to their families in their honor. And then we have so many people that have served their entire lives for this cause, preservation and promotion.
Yeah.
And so now we want to say, hey, we do see your efforts, and we want to
Nice.
honor you. So
So you have living heroes too.
yes, so
Yeah.
we have about 12 people that we'll be recognizing
Wow.
on
Which we're not
Saturday.
revealing today. We got the
No.
memos, right?
Exactly.
It's a
We got
big
the
surprise that
memo.
they want to save to the end of the event, so
Oh,
you have
man.
to go. But I want to bring it back to Marcus Canol, because I do want to say, you know, it's not a name that we grow up hearing in our history lessons of Belize. Not one that perhaps is as widely taught as we'd like it to be. And I think when Yasser and the SJC History
Club.
Club really did that homage to him and educated us all on the work of Marcus Canol last year, it really has begun to take it took root. Tell us though, for a refresher, about the important role of Marcus Canol as a Mayan hero.
Okay.
Yeah, whoever.
Yes, Marlene. You see, Marcos Canol is happening in a very, very important historic setting. The height of the Victorian era. In 1837, Queen Victoria was crowned in England. 10 years later, the Great Maya Social War, known as the Caste War, erupts in Teosuco in Quintana Roo, Mexico. And then we have the influx of refugees coming to northern Belize. 1859, the treaty signed between Guatemala and England, establishing the boundary. It was not a treaty of cession of land, because Guatemala was not ceding British Honduras to England, right? And the treaty said that from south is going due north to where it strikes the northern frontier. That would be Tres Banderas or Aguas Turbias in the north. Then this is happening. In the 1950s, the English were paying royalty to Marcos Canol and the Maya people. But because of the treaty that was signed in 1859 and Belize becoming a crown colony in 1862, I perceive it this way in the interior monologue of the English. Well, this is our lands. These are crown lands. To hell with Marcos Canol and the royalty. Will not pay for that. And then this causes a lot of problems between the Maya, led by Marcos Canol, and the English. So much so that on the 21st of December, 1866, at the war in Quam Hill, 6 British soldiers were killed, not a single Maya was injured. In 1870, Marcos Canol and his braves, they go and they take over Corozal and occupy it. 1872, it goes to Orange Walk, they attack the West India Regiment, where he was injured. Now, he died on that CMD, but the problem is still brewing. It's still brewing. There is sales of arms from British Honduras into Mexico. And certain Mexican groups wanted to secede from Mexico to not be a part of Mexico. Now, this is causing alarm among the Mexican authorities. And as a result of that, they will be signing on the 8th of July, 1893, the Spencer-Mariscal Treaty, in which Mexico formally agreed that the lands that are east of the Rio Hondo is British Honduras, what is west is for Mexico. See, now, I mentioned with the height of the Victorian era, right? When Britannia ruled the seas and the sun never set on the English Empire. The Victorian era started in 1837 when Queen Victoria was crowned until 1901 when she died. She was on the throne for about 63 years. Coincidentally, that same year, the Maya were and the English were ends, you know, when they were trading massacres against each other, you know. Now, you mentioned something very interesting not long ago, that there's a part of our history that is not taught to us. Now, I think you have not heard about Quam Hill and the war. In retaliation for that, what the English did, they destroyed about a dozen Mayan towns and villages out there, burned their crops and so on, you know,
Wow.
to try to bring them, you know, to hunger, to subdue them. But the Maya were resilient and they rebuilt their communities again. See? Now, why we're not getting this in the history books? Because what we get in the history books, we get his story. We don't get her story, my story, or our story. It is his story. And his story is the story of the conqueror.
And what we have done now, and that's one of the movements that are taking place with the African and Mayan history, is trying to bring some of these things to light. What I find fascinating is when we talk about this, we just have to look at some of the monuments that still exist in northern Belize that we have totally taken for granted for so long. In Orange Walk, for example, in the Central Park, and also in Corozal, right? So tell us about how you will commemorate. This National Heroes Day is an homage to Marcus Canoe, but also looking at present heroes and recent ones that have passed away. How are you making your selection in terms of who will be counted as a Mayan hero?
The criteria we have is, as I mentioned, people who have been preserving the culture in one way, shape, or form. You know, they may have served as a spiritual elder, amen, or it may have supported in people's well-being in the community. So those are some of the criterias.
Nice, nice. And you know, I'm thinking off the top of my head because I really love the pop the puck movement that has been taking place, bringing back the traditions of the Mayan ball game. I know, is it August Pine Ridge where they still do the traditional mestizo dance with the bottles on the head?
Yo Creek.
Yo Creek, okay. So I can think of how there have been small movements to kind of keep parts of the traditional life. We know the food is still there as well. What are some of the other people, villages, areas that you'd like the wider public to know where there are people making efforts to keep the culture alive?
Yes, in Pachacan, we have a gentleman who has been instrumental in keeping the primicia going for 17 years straight.
Yeah.
And that's a very huge commitment. We also have families in San Pablo who do the primicias and the chachak. And in Cristo Rey, we know Mr. Faustino, who is here. He's very instrumental in preserving. We've had 2 HESMECs done this year alone. And HESMEC is the integration of the child into the community and presenting him with vital items that will help him in his development into life, his life stages. So we have people who are doing those things. And then, as you mentioned, Puck to Puck, we have Miss Felicita, who, and now the Puck to Puck team is the world champions, which is a big,
Yes.
big
Yes.
deal. Big deal, yes. So we have various people who are supporting the dance, you know, the actual pre-Hispanic dances. Tone Masewalon, and also Banquita's House of Culture. We have been presenting teachings on Maya language. A couple weeks ago, we did our first Maya conversational language class at the Corozal House of Culture. It was very, very wonderfully presented by our Mr. Faustino and Mr. Roy and myself. But we had 15 students who really embraced the curriculum, you know, and then we have Miss Felicita who teaches the language, and then we have various people who promote their like the Fiesta del Pueblo. We have San Jose Palmar, San Lázaro, Cristo Rey. So we have all these vital people within our group that are keeping the culture alive.
Calabash making too, we saw that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And the porridge.
Right.
What's it called?
The chocosacano.
That's it?
The part.
Yeah.
Shake,
Chocosacano.
shake,
Shake,
shake, shake, shake.
Yeah.
You know, we've heard and we've already started to see that the authorities are starting to formalize their investments in the north to make it more attractive as a tourist destination. And I believe there's a thing called sustainable preservation. You know, you have sustainable development, where culture can be used as a way to be preserved, not only as for value of benefit, but also as an economic opportunity. Are you guys looking to formalize yourselves to be able to take advantage and using that opportunity to not only generate income, but use it as a way to strengthen the culture?
Yes, to both of your scenarios. Yeah, it is very important. We know that tourists now, they are interested in having that experiential
Correct.
museum activity day.
Yes.
So that will be the new trend. We have Hugo Carrillo in San Lazaro, who is almost finished with his museum for the same purpose. And Mr. Faustino has his museum halfway finished. So we are definitely following that trend. But it's an opportunity for the tourists to come and see what the Maya culture really is like and to experience it.
Probably we can add something about the forum, the symposium.
Yeah.
That
The symposium?
Yeah.
yes, please. Can
Yes, and I want to apologize. We got so busy planning our first Maya symposium in Corozal in May that we didn't have an opportunity to come with you and talk about it. But it was really interesting because it was the first time we presented a Maya symposium, and the topic was opening the gates to deciphering the Chactamal murals, which is a topic in itself quite intriguing, because when the murals were discovered over 100 years ago, they were subsequently destroyed, and to this day, nobody knows the real representation of the murals. So it was a very interesting topic, and we had seven qualified presenters from international and national, and it was a 2-day event, and it was very historic.
That was big, man.
Yes, so sorry. It was very historic. One of the historic things is that we did have a hezmek for the community to experience. We had people hear about the Maya wedding reenactment. Well, we had that. Plus, we had a real wedding. A real legal wedding. So, yeah, but it was really fantastic. So, those are some of the things that we are actively working on to promote this culture.
Well, you didn't tell us about the symposium, but you're here to tell us about the commemoration of the Maya Hero Day. Tell us what's happening this Saturday.
So, join us on Saturday, September the 1st at 9 o'clock at the monument to the Battle of Orange Walk. People know it as such. And actually, we choose September the 1st because that is the day when Marcus Canole was killed, not too far away from the monument.
Wow.
The ceremony will start at 9 o'clock with the ritual of gratitude, and it starts with Mr. Faustino doing the ritual at an authentic Maya altar, which has to be made out of all natural woods from nature. And then we will have various speeches and recognition, followed by activities by, we have our colleague from the north, Maestro Koi Koi, and he is coming from can you tell us the universidad again? He's got the full name.
Universidad Intercultural Maya de Quintana Roo, that is located in the city of Morelos, about 2.5 hours from Chetumal.
So he's coming, and they are actually presenting all the different activities because they come with a full package. And this year we wanted to present to our community something a little bit different than what they are used to seeing when they come to our different events. So come and join us and have a great time with us. The event is free.
Yeah.
So
It is free.
Yes.
It's free education as well, and a free history
Absolutely.
lesson. And will there be good food available?
not this time. There won't be. Unfortunately, not this time. But last year we had
Not
a
even
lot
porridge?
of yummy foods.
Yeah. You see, what happens is that we had slated the event to be Saturday, September the 1st. But BTIA
Yeah.
is having their expo on that same day.
Okay.
You know, we knew that they wanted to have it in June and July, then they went to August,
Yeah.
and eventually there was September. So we don't want to clash with them.
Yeah.
You know?
But it gives people two things to do in
Options.
Orange Walk that day. So
Yeah.
that's great. They could do the expo during the day and head out to see this as well. Of course, we want to thank you for coming in and telling us all about the work that you've been doing. If people want to get in touch, if they want to join and participate or learn more, how can they contact you?
Yes, you can contact us. I have to get my contact page.
Yeah.
Actually, you can reach Miss Cindy Rivero at
Okay.
Banquita's House of Culture at 629-1223, or you can speak to the president of the Northern Maya Association, Mr. Arturo Cantun, at 605-9194.
All right.
Right.
Thank you for coming in and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you so much. Pleasure being here.
Thank you very much.
And when we come back, we are going to be continuing with more music, Kevin. But this time, we're going to be checking out the portable studio from the Department of Youth Services. So stay tuned. That's coming up next.